Wow, good morning everybody. It is July 12th. It has been, I'm guessing, 2 to 3 weeks since I recorded anything. Well, on this camera anyway. And almost that amount of time that I have not really done much out here. So the pump guy, he's still here. He's still stuck. He's still got to get his motor fixed for the pump. I don't know how long that's going to take. He said hopefully next week. He got his truck out of here, the other truck. I asked him to move it. Unfortunately, I don't have any other good places for him to put it. So he put it all the way at the front of the property on the grass. And we do have good news. We got the tractor back. Luckily, Bren works at the company that I bought this from and works on. So he took it upon himself, because they were taking too long, to get this fixed and get it back out here so we can start using it. So I'll give you a brief, quick look here. He cleaned it all up, pressure washed it all. But this is what was broke. This bar was bent and fallen out. And this cast iron on both sides was completely broke. This was broke and falling off. So we did bend this frame a little bit. One of us, most likely me, since I've used it the most. So this bar is always going to have to go out to the right anytime I want to put anything in or out of this. He says if this goes this way, this right here is bent enough that as soon as this bar pops out, this does something weird and tweaks, and it'd be near impossible to get the bar back in. So without a lot of extra effort. But anyway, all this is brand new, looking good. New bolts back in here on the sides. So I'm excited to get back to work now. I'm gonna take this off and decide what I'm gonna do today. I want to mow before I do anything else. Things have been getting it's all kind of tall, and when it's not raining and it's somewhat dry here in North Carolina, we have, at least at this property, we have a real buggy problem. So when I keep everything down, we tend to have less of that problem, and it just looks better too and feels good. So I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. First thing first though is I'm gonna get this off. If you want to see a little bit how we chained this up, we took this chain and ran it through both sides, and then pull the tractor up till it's taut, and then put the brake on the bucket, put the brake on, put the bucket down. Then at least you're locked in there pretty strong. Then just as a simple backup, not a big, it's 1,100 pound tie down, just as a little backup. And then we got the big keepers on both sides, over 3,000 pounds on each side, cinched down, and seems to stay pretty steady. I haven't had a problem. And of course, you always want your tractor probably the best you can anyway, somewhat centered on this. We might be a little bit to the rear, a little too much, but not bad. Towed very nicely. All right, let's get this guy off. Sorry guys, one of the days that I was off the last few weeks was actually only a couple days ago, but I started thinking ahead of building a frame again for this trailer. So this is what happened to my other frame. It was wood, it was kind of cheapy, and I figure it was okay to dispose of it a little bit because I could still use this wood in construction. I can use it for something. The front end was fairly good, but when I went to go get wood, I would have to take the frame off while I was there and then put it back on. And when I did that a couple times, especially trying to do it by myself, it just collapsed on me. It wasn't good. Now that we're getting heavier into construction, I'll be getting more wood, obviously, and I want this thing again. I told you guys before kind of my preference. I don't know if it's too much to ask for to make this trailer an all-around trailer that I can use it just about for anything. So I want it to be easy to take apart. I want it to be sturdy when the arms are up, the walls are up. I'm going to be getting bathtubs, I'm going to be getting toilets, I'm going to be getting vanities, I'm going to be getting stuff and windows and doors. So I need sides on this that are strong, that I can attach to, especially the windows, and then things that come in boxes and stuff. I can cinch them down, but I don't want them to be able to slide out the sides either, so I feel a little more secure if something's as far as the wall goes. So all that said, the long way of saying something is I bought some steel, and I bought steel from a steel company here in town. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. I paid a decent amount of money, and again, when you live on a homestead, I guess it's nice to say, hey, if it doesn't work, I can always use this somewhere else. These are going to be my railings. They had some left over from another project, so they sell them for kind of a better deal. These are 90 degrees. And that is going to, I'm hoping this will work and that I had it cut at the right length. This will just slide in like this, and then the other one will slide in here. And it shouldn't come apart if everything works out. It's definitely going to be a lot heavier, and that's when I felt like I could have made better choices as far as if I'd known more about metal and steel and stuff. I don't know enough about gauges. If I had to do it all over again, I would have definitely shot for something a little less thick because it's so heavy. But it being so thick, it's definitely going to be strong. I just don't know. The other thing is where I put my legs here and here. When you guys saw I did the last project when I did this, they're definitely not perfectly square. 2x3 can't fit in that, and 2x4 can't fit in that one. So I had to shimmy them down. I had to skinny them out to fit down in there. Well, when I went to the steel company, my stuff was like weird stuff, like 2 1/4 or 3 3/4 or whatever, like quarters and 3/8 and 5/8 and things like that. Steel company only sells what they call true measurements, so it's only by wholes and halves. This is what's going to go in my 2x3, and you're going to obviously see that it fits very easily and got way too much room, see? But I couldn't get it cut with quarters and things like that. So, but anyway, that's going to be my, I don't know if you can see this really well. That will be, see, this is the problem, it's going to be a little bit wobbly. But again, I think it's still going to be stronger than the wood. And I don't know if I'm going to have to come up with some solution for that. I don't know if over time this banging like this will ruin the welds and bang that out. I don't know. I hope not. But if it were to do that, we can always weld again, I guess. So I got those ones. I only need two. One here and one there. That's the small measurement ones. And then you can see on this, for the side ones, how much play there's going to be in this guy. That's a lot of play. But again, they don't have true measurement. So I guess I could. Bryn does have a welder, and maybe we could weld some pieces in there to make this more secure. So I'll talk to him about that. He's a kid, but he has a little bit more experience than I do in this stuff. Just going to show you my idea. I don't think I'm going to do this today, but I might. I don't know. So what I did was I got a couple of different sizes of clevis pins. These are 1/4 inch, a little bit lighter weight. These are the big guys. So in order to make this easy to take apart and put it back together on the fly when I need it, without having to have wrenches and maybe a drill or whatever to undo everything, instead of using bolts, I want to give this a try and see if I can hold that together with the pins. Now, obviously, the big problem immediately that you'll think about is it's going to be floppy. So I'm going to see how floppy. You know, if it's ridiculous, maybe there's going to be a couple of points that I can use to fasten down with the bolts, but not all the points. Or I may have to abandon the whole idea and go bolts all the way around. I just don't want to pull up to a place and decide, oh, I need to take this apart and have to do that. Like, take so much time. I want it to be a quick undo and put back together. So we'll see. That's my idea. Guys, I can't tell you how exciting it is to have this tractor back. It's ridiculous. I mean, I can't tell you how much I use this. The price tag, you still might say it's not worth it. I don't know. I'll just tell you this tractor was somewhere, it was brand new, in the vicinity of about 18,000 and 0 APR. So I use this thing. Can you imagine walking around on 10 acres, even just an acre, pulling wagons back and forth? I got to move all this stuff. I got to take it down. It's just, it preserves you so much moving stuff around, and then it's hard work that it does. I'm just so thankful for it. It's great. Just going to show you real quick. This is what I bought. I don't know if they're going to work, but this is what I actually used. This or something very similar to drill and put these teeth in on my front loader, and they went through. So I'm hoping that that's going to work on my steel. It says that it can do steel, and then I can put my pins through there. So that's one plan. That's something I'm wanted to show you. The other thing is, I don't remember if I showed you guys this or not, but I bought this sport umbrella. I don't know. I don't remember how much it cost, but it wasn't very much. 30 or something bucks, I think, on Amazon. When you look at the covers that go on tractors, they're expensive. I mean, like a cheap something that I don't even know if will fit this tractor was close to $200 or something, and they go way up after that. So this obviously is a very cheap way, and not sure that how long this is going to last as an idea. I tried, this thing is made to hook onto a bar, and I don't have bars like that. So I hooked it on here, bungeed it to give it some security. We'll see if it holds or not. And I did use this before we had to take the tractor in. And even the fact if I'm going away from the sun, at least it shades it a little bit. So I get some shade, and that helps. So that's another little thing. We're going to see how that goes. They actually have this sport umbrella twice the size, I think like a 4-footer or something. I couldn't imagine having something that big over the top of me and it being able to stay secure, so I didn't buy it. But if this does well, I could get another 2-footer. They'll overlap each other a little bit, but it would give me a little bit more shade. So we'll see. It's just something I'm working with. It's been hot and muggy here and stuff, so it's nice to have a little bit of shade under. All right, we're gonna head down to the shed. I need to water trees, dump some compost. The other day I watered the trees and found a couple little grapes on the grapevines. And then I also checked on my worms, and they seem to be doing okay. I feel like I'm at that point with the worms. I need to do something with them. They're just sitting there, and I feel bad that I haven't dug down in there. I don't know how they're doing. So I need to filter that out. Maybe that's something I should do today. We'll check that out. After I talked to you about the worm thing, I've been thinking about it, and it needs to be done, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these guys and pick out the stuff that still needs to be broke down, which there's a little bit of stuff in here, not a lot, and throw that here on the side. What I want to do is I'm going to just start putting this. I think this is fantastic soil that the worms have done for me. I will look for the worms as I'm doing this and then put those aside and see if, I don't even know if I haven't checked in here like really thoroughly, so I don't know what I got going on. I don't know if they've escaped. I don't know if they've died. I don't know what I got. So that's what we're going to do right now, is I'm going to do that. Just go through this real slowly and thoroughly and check and see what I got. And then I'll have probably a bucket or two of nice soil. Alright guys, I'm a little bit disappointed. I think I've lost most of my worms. I'm on the last bucket. The soil is fantastic, but I don't know, I can't even tell, did they just die in here or did they get out? I've only pulled out maybe 10 worms so far. And I had, at what time I was supposed to be 350, I think. So, yeah, I don't know if it's, I just didn't have them in ideal, I don't know what it is. I could have not had them in ideal conditions. They've been sitting outside, so they're exposed to the weather. I had them under a table, so they're not in direct heat, and they're not in direct cold either, kind of sheltered. Oh, here we go. Here's some more. I got some more worms here. But there's just no way, you know, for as many as I had, I don't know if they got out or died or what. So I need to come up with a different system or abandon the whole idea. I am finding more in the bottom of this one though. I've never seen any getting out. I mean, I did in the very beginning, and now I haven't seen, when I come check on them, I don't see any of them, any evidence of worms getting out. The soil is spectacular. I know there's definitely got to be a better way of doing it than this. I watched a lady on YouTube once. I hadn't seen her system before, where she puts it kind of in a half barrel, keeps moving the worms from end to end, but I only watched the one video, so I haven't really got a good idea of her process. But that seemed like a lot easier. But to be honest with you, I'm not interested in doing this once I get the homestead going. Right now, I was just trying to get a head start, a little bit of a jump, while I'm building the houses and stuff, to have some manufacturing of good soil and to increase the worm population. But I may keep it simple and just go ahead and do one more time here in a small bucket. I'll be able to keep an eye on them better than all three of these. I've definitely found a lot more worms, but it's still nowhere near close to what I had. I'm probably at, I don't know, we're getting close to probably 30. And the ones that I'm finding, they're pretty healthy. They're mostly all the red wigglers too. They're all small. And I remember I had some bigger worms there that I had gotten. I didn't think they were red wigglers. They didn't look like it. These are all small worms. So maybe the big ones didn't. Finding quite a few here in the bottom. I might be now close to 50. Something I found out too is I put that red, I don't know if you guys will go back and look at it or not. There was a video I made where I was adding and checking up on this. And I had a red cloth on the bottom to keep the worms from getting out. And basically they ate the whole thing. Or disintegrated it, whatever, I don't know. So this one is the one I had on bottom to do that same thing. And I had, I completely covered it with coconut coir and cardboard. And there's not even a bottom in it again. So it seems like me trying to keep them from escaping the stuff that I'm putting there on the bottom, they're eating it or decomposing it, whatever you want to call it. Oh, they're in here. There's more and more. Like the majority of them were on this bottom bucket all the way to the bottom. The top bucket I didn't find any worms in. And I've put worms in there a couple times. Well, you know, you learn. You got to start somewhere and try. But worms aren't that cheap, to be honest with you. It's a kind of an expensive investment, I felt like, the worms, to get them shipped to you. Now, I might be able to find somewhere local I can get them for cheaper. I don't know. All right. I think I probably got close to 100 worms back out of here, which that could have been the original 100 red wigglers that I got. That other one was 250, but they didn't look like red wigglers, as I said. That's not going to keep going on like this because that's expensive soil. So I'm going to be dropping that kind of money on worms, and then they don't last, and I'm only getting what I get, 2 small buckets of soil out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and keep using these ones that I have, these worms that I have. I got some cardboard here. I almost am tempted to just pour them in the compost pile and let them do their thing, and I'll never see them again. But I do have this stuff that's made for it. I might as well go ahead and give it another shot. I'm going to just go ahead and use up all this. So I'm going to chalk that up to a fairly good sized fail. I don't know. I'm not really... That didn't work as well, as nearly as well as I thought it would. I'm going to throw a few things in here. I brought some water to water the trees over here, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of that in here and get it nice and wet. Worms going back home here. You can see some of the worms making their way back down in there. Alright guys, I wanted to show you guys my next little project. Something I'm going to try. I don't know if it's going to accomplish anything, I showed you guys this a while ago for sharpening my rotary blades. So I'm not sure that it's going to accomplish much, but when I use this and I'm cutting this, it leaves so much behind. I got to go over it several times, especially up front. So I just slid my bucket under here and picked up. I racked on this to make sure it's not going to fall on me. I feel like it's pretty steady right there. I'm not going to go way up underneath anyway. But anyway, this is what my blades look like. Let me see if I can get underneath here without putting myself in danger. So see, they do have a little bit of a slant there. So I want to take, I think I've read before you don't sharpen these, but I'm not sure. These have been dinged up, and me sharpening them is not going to last long because I have so many rocks. But I thought I'd just give it a try and see if that sharpens it a little bit, and at least helps me for a bit anyway on some of the grass. Maybe it'll be something I just do every time before I start giving it a little sharp, if it seems to work. So that's what I'm going to try right now. Alright, we're going to try to show this. So I am going to be putting these on. I don't know if it's necessary, but I'd rather put it on and not need it than to not put it on and do need it. Alright. Let's see what happens here. Seems like it's doing something, and I don't know if this is designed like this on purpose to go, like, it's probably for regular lawnmower blades, not these big ones. Alright, I feel like that did do something. I ran my finger over. That feels pretty sharp. Hopefully that helps a little bit. And maybe every time I go to do this, I'll just do it, you know, like a few minutes like this. Nothing too intense. But after I do it every time, it'll probably help catch me up instead of sitting here doing this for hours. I probably could spend hours doing that just to make it super beautiful, and then the first rock I hit, it's done. So I'll probably just do that a little bit each time. All right, guys, I was a little bit out of practice, but I got it on. So we're ready to go. I think I'm gonna mow for a little bit, see how hot it gets. It's already a little after 11 and it's getting very hot. But I think I'm going to go down there at that end of the property. That tends to be a little bit more shaded. We'll give it a shot, see what happens. It's been a while since I've mowed. I'll get back in and see if these sharpening those blades helped at all. All right, let's go give it a shot. All right, I'm mowing and I don't know what these are. They look like tomatoes. Wild ones, but this doesn't look like tomato to me. They got pokies on them, splinters. I don't know what these are. anybody knows what they are, they can leave that name in the comments. So they're wild. Don't know what they are. They're going to get cut down right now because I'm mowing. But they're interesting. Alright guys, getting real hot. So I got kind of where this tree is right there. There's two trees. I got everything behind there. I didn't film it. You guys probably be bored with it. I've shown it before. I'll do it once in a great while. It's still fun to see, but not today. So tomorrow I'm hoping to get out here early, do all the front and this section here that I need to do. On top of the fact that it's getting really hot, I'm starting to get burnt. I haven't been out in the sun in a while, so I want to take a little bit more precautions. I know I am already burnt, but hopefully catch it before it gets too bad. All right guys, I'm winding it up. These whale guys messed around with this. All right, I don't know why they untied it. 1:30, a little after 1:30 is a lot later than I planned on being, to be honest with you. I've been usually getting out of here by 11:30, 12. I don't know. When you're on the tractor, for some reason, it doesn't get quite as hot, so you don't really recognize it. And then you go under some shade. You're not sitting there just like in the blasted sun. You're moving a little bit. The tractor's moving, so it's not quite as bad. But the truck says, it said 97. The truck's been sitting in the sun, so could be. Oh, let's see. The truck is still saying 97, so it's been a minute. All right, guys, I am going to turn the AC off for a second just to say I will see you guys tomorrow, most likely. If not, definitely see you next time I'm out here. I'll finish up all that mowing. All right, see you next time. Good morning, guys. I'm back out here to finish up the mowing, hopefully. Something I forgot to do yesterday was take a diesel can with me and get some diesel, so I think I'm probably going to run out before I can finish. But we'll see. The grass is not as tall as it usually is when I mow, so maybe I'll get through it faster. I don't know, did I say it's July 13 at 8 o'clock in the morning? Got out here earlier to get done before it gets too hot. Anyway, I wanted to also report back on sharpening that blade. It actually did help, I feel like. It didn't do perfect or whatever, but I'd say it improved it maybe by somewhere between 10 and 20% better, depending on the spot down there. But I felt like it did some good. So I'm going to go ahead and head down here to the shed and get that sharpener out again and get under here and just hit that again real quick and sharpen the blades and see if that will continue to help me. All right, let's get to work. All right, we're going to sharpen these blades a little bit. So what I did was I parked here. Let me back out and show you what I did, because this is attached now. I can't pick it up like I did the other way. So I headed downhill here a little bit, put a little bit of slant, put this guy up in the air, and just to make sure that it doesn't slide down on me, I locked this up into the highest position. So we're going to get under here and do a quick sharpening. Alright, I got out here early to start mowing and I just basically blew it. Now I'm back to probably when I started yesterday, or approximately. Well, I did other stuff before I started mowing yesterday. Anyway, I decided to go around. I was looking to see if there's somewhere to grease this inside this, and I don't understand how. I don't see any zerk fittings, whatever they're called, like this guy. I found this one on the tire. I looked at they have directions in here, and I looked at the diagram. Supposedly there's supposed to be two here, but I can't find them. So I put a little bit of grease on the fittings here. Then I went and did what I could on these ones. Have a few on the front loader. So, but I think I ran out of grease. because I was having a difficult time getting grease out. All right, now let's get back to what we started out to.